Good evening, folks. Welcome back to The View for this week's podcast. Delighted, as always, to be joined by the co-host for the podcast. That is that man right there, Paul Brooker from the Leeds Therapy. There's a bit of stuff to talk about tonight, but before we get into it, two real quick public service announcements before we get started. The Creator Cup is this Sunday in the John Charles Stadium for sports, £7 for adults, £3 for kids. There was a bar. I keep getting the piss taken out of me for saying that we've got a bar, but we've got a bar. It's a big deal, apparently. We've got a bar. And everyone will be sticking around afterwards as well if you want to come down and help us raise some money for Prostate Cancer UK. Every penny that comes in will go back to Prostate Cancer UK. So very good charity. And also, if you're interested in purchasing the new Leeds United away kit, which we'll talk about in a couple of minutes, there is a link down below for our Fanatics affiliate link if you want to buy it through us, which would help support the channel as well. Let's check in with Paul and see how he's getting on. Paul, how's things, mate? How are you?
Good, yeah, I'm all right. I'm fine. Good. Go to Devon next week, so I'm kind of on the wind down a little bit, ready for sort of next week now. But no, I'm very, very good. Thank you. Good.
Yeah, we got football back in a couple of days' time. Manchester United in Stockholm. Then they're off to Germany for their pre-season camp, which is super, super secret, and live streams can't happen, which I still don't understand why that can't happen. But yeah, and then we're 5 weeks out from kickoff for the Premier League against Everton, and business, Paul, is picking up.
It is. It's the Xhaka thing made quite a few people collectively lose their minds at the beginning of the week. And the whole, I know everybody says it about moving in silence and everything and all of that kind of stuff, the way that the 49ers work. But I can't help but feel like we have been absolutely done up like a kipper by the club, because it's just been one thing after one thing after one thing after one thing in such a short space of time. I mean, you know, it just the medical was announced for Longstaff. I go to the gym. I come back from the gym, and it looks like Pijao we're looking at as well. And I get back from the gym, and I'm like, what's going on? What is happening? This is great. This gives us loads of stuff to get into. It's great as content creators because it means we can put out concrete information. We can talk about stuff, but it's looking like it's moving in the right direction, which is where we need it to be. I've said it to you. I've said it again. It looks like we've gone from defence and we're now building towards the attack. That seems to be how the club have done it so far this season. And if everything comes off, I mean, Sunderland who? That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah, the fixation with Sunderland, which I think if people were to take a step back and look at the entire league and have a look at everything that everyone else is doing, we're not in a bad place comparative to other clubs. Outside of Sunderland, not everybody else has made moves yet. There's a couple on one signing. Sunderland had a huge gap to break to catch up with Leeds and everybody else. They had to replace an entire midfield. They still have replaced their defence, and bearing in mind they've got Luke O'Nien as their centre back, and possibly was their captain last year as well, and Patterson and goal. That all needs to be looked at. So, yeah, it's not a case of just us and them. There's plenty more teams in the league. Brentford's majority owner is trying to flog his stake in Brentford now after the manager leaving and half the team going. So, yeah, I think we worry about ourselves. We do our own thing, and we'll see where we go from there. But quietly happy with what everything is being done. I know the 49ers have their way of doing things. I know not everybody likes that. But if we come out of the window and we get the guys that we're looking at, that's a hell of a window. But we'll talk about the ones that we've got in already and the ones that are either on the fringes of happening. Sean Longstaff medical happening today. So waiting on an announcement to that either tonight or tomorrow morning, or possibly even on Saturday when they're already over in Stockholm. We have to wait and see. And then the ones that are there's interest in and significant interest and is growing pretty quickly. So we'll see with that. But there is a place to start tonight, Paul, and that's on this. I have to put this up because I did put out a tweet that said that Jakob would not be suspended. And I don't want to be the kind of guy that just leaves there and goes back on his word. This is where this came from. So news from Graham Smith tonight says that Jakob will miss Leeds' first game of the season as his suspension from Serie A is being carried over. Now, very hard to see what's on the screen, but I'll give you the basic gist of this. And this says, if a player in Italy's Serie A is sent off for receiving 2 yellow cards in a match and then transfers to the English Premier League, the suspension would not carry over to the Premier League for their opening game. Here's why. There is competition-specific sanctions. Disciplinary sanctions such as suspensions for yellow or red cards are typically enforced within the same competition or league that they were issued in. Serie A and the Premier League are separate competitions governed by different footballing associations with no automatic transfer of suspension. What's interesting in here is the next one. FIFA's regulation, which is 12.1, disciplinary sanctions of up to 4 matches imposed on one association should be enforced. That relates to serious foul play. So a straight red card that will carry a 3 or 4 match suspension, that should carry over. Yacobial was sent off for 2 yellow cards, which would not be seen as a serious offence. However, there was an update to this, and FIFA regulations on the default rule as of February 1st, 2023 stipulates that disciplinary sanctions, including suspensions, should generally follow a player across competitions and leagues, provided the sanction was imposed by a member association of the Confederation. For a red card suspension like Bial's, which stemmed from 2 yellow cards in Serie A, that typically means that punishment will carry over to the player's next competitive game, regardless of league, unless specific exemptions or appeals after the outcome. The Premier League and Serie A both under UEFA's judiciary, which means that this should carry out. But it does say there are nuances, and there is an appeals process in place should Leeds decide they want to go down that route. But based on, so Article 12 says they don't carry over unless it's serious foul play. And Article 13 says they do carry over, depending on the nuances and the appeal process. So Leeds could potentially appeal if they wanted it, but they have been informed by the Premier League that BL will be suspended for 1 game at the start of the season. We'll see if Leeds decide to move forward on that. But if he was excited about his first game of the season, Paul, he's going to have to wait.
Yeah, it looks like that might be the case. I don't know why, but for some reason in my head, I had it that he was missing the first game of the season anyways because of a suspension that was carrying over. And I don't know if I saw it on a tweet or something, but I'm sure I saw it a couple of weeks ago about it.
Maximili's lately did a piece on it as well, where he was talking about him. We will be suspended.
Yeah, just after he signed. And look, it is what it is. It's one of those things. We should be appealing it. I think without any shadow of a doubt, we should be at least putting the case forward for him to be able to play. That would be my thoughts on the situation. You can't just sit and not try and put the case forward. So hopefully they do. But we know how us and appealing stuff generally tends to go with the governing body. So we'll just have to wait and see.
We'll get an immediate relegation and a 15-point deduction for even trying to appeal it.
I don't know what you mean.
Couldn't possibly comment. Let's get stuck into the juicy stuff tonight, Paul. As we said, let's have a look at where we are. This beautiful, absolutely beautiful kit has come out.
Yeah.
And this got, I have a picture of me, my dad, and my nephew Cormac, my nephew Cahill. I'm wearing this shirt back in 2002. I stuck it on my Instagram earlier on today. And to see this come back out in a very similar design, not everyone loves the white in it, but the design had to be significant enough of a change from what Nike had, because unfortunately Adidas are not allowed to completely rip off a Nike design. Yep. So there is that. But I think it's a beautiful job. And again, if anyone wants to buy it, there's a link down below in the description. And I promise I'll stop asking now. But Paul, what are your thoughts on the kit?
Stunning. Absolutely stunning. It's so they've two seasons running now. They've got it absolutely spot on with the away kit. Absolutely brilliant. I think, I like what it harks back to. I like I actually quite like the yellow line in there within the stripes and everything. I think it works just.
Yeah, so do I.
I like the fact that the logo is just the logo. Just everything about it. It's different enough, but similar enough for the people who know about it or who were aware about it or wore the Strongbow kit for them to know what that's about. I just think it's stunning. It really is stunning. And I think for the first time in a very, very long time, I'm going to be buying the away top first and waiting a little bit longer for the home top.
I've already done it, and I haven't bought the home kit.
If I tell you that tomorrow I will be ordering the away top, so I genuinely love this top. I think it's just nice. It's that blue, that kind of royal blue color, the yellow, everything about it is absolutely brilliant. Just love it. No
navy blue, no pissy yellow, just a proper royal blue and a nice strong yellow on it as well. It looks the business. As Danny Talk Leeds is saying there, the video for the kit was ace as well. It was really cool to watch it. Mark Verduka, fair play to you, mate. Even Gary Kelly, who's not fond of a camera, got involved in it as well. So great to see all of them in there as well. And interesting to see that the home kit comes out with a couple of, I'm going to call them stock Adidas pictures at this stage, because every Adidas home kit appears to be the exact same images of every team.
Yep.
Aston Villa's one this week was the same, so was Nottingham Forest. No real drama to it, just plop, there you go. And then the away kit comes out and this big video comes out with it. And if you go back to last year, there was the guerrilla marketing campaign around Leeds where they branded everything just bright yellow for a couple of days for the yellow kit. So it's interesting to see them taking that kind of a stance with the kit, that the home kit doesn't really get a launch, but the away kit gets the launch of
I would say that the white kit's the white kit. There's not a lot you can do with it to kind of promote it. We know what it's going to be. Whereas with the away kit, it's a little bit different. It gives them the opportunity to be a little bit more special with it, a little bit more unique with it. It's like the detailing of on the top with where you've got the different coloured stripes that run through it. Yeah. Absolutely fantastic. Just brilliant. I think they know that the away top stands a very, very good chance of probably selling quite a lot. So they put a little bit more weight and a little bit more behind it, so to speak. I mean, we've had images of people in the shop and saying that it's really busy. Even at the moment, there's loads of people in there trying to buy the top. It just, I'm really enamored with it. I think it's one of the best ones I've seen for a very, very long time.
Yeah, it's a nice, strong Premier League kit for Premier League side by time.
Absolutely.
David's asking, any idea the black one is for sale? Not yet. No announcement. There's a couple of knockoff versions of a black one going around. I hope it's not that weird yellowy and blacky one that's floating around. It looks awful. Saw some images today. It looks like a t-shirt, but we'll wait and see. There is stuff available in the club shop that's not available online yet as well. So that could be just coming from there. So I wouldn't.
I think that the third one is going to be more, I think it's going to be more kind of like a graphite black colour, I think.
Yeah.
That's my thoughts on it. So rather than just like a flat black.
I heard very close to navy, like very, very, almost a very dark navy, but black, if that makes sense. Big shout, Dave Hall, becoming a new member of the channel, and Dave Webster, who is 22 months a member of the channel. Good evening, Dave. Hope you're well. I didn't think we had members that long, but there we go. 22 months. Well done, Dave. So yeah, that's the kit. Love it. Yeah. I don't know. Andy's asking, how does it fit? I don't know. Joe Blackburn bought a medium, but Joe's quite tall and so am I. I bought a large. I'll let you know when it arrives in a couple of weeks' time.
I'll be buying it.
Ironically,
I'll be buying it.
I'm in Leeds this weekend and I'm not even buying it because I wasn't sure I'd get it to the club shop, so I bought it today just in case. Let's see. Right. Okay, what else? Let's get into Sean Longstaff, because he is having his medical at the club. We'll keep an eye on X as well, or Twitter, or whatever it's called this week, and we'll see where we get on with this. But apparently all looks like done and dusted. They upped the price. Newcastle got their extra few quid. £12 million deal, rising to 15 with add-ons. The add-ons are said to be performance-related add-ons, so they would involve Leeds staying in the Premier League, which is a nice change, Paul, considering the last time we were putting extra clauses in players' contracts, it was basically if Leeds end up collapsing, you can walk away for free.
Yeah, no, it's sensible. I think the interesting thing about this deal more than anything is that everything was agreed back in June, which is what Romano said yesterday, wasn't it? It's that Longstaff has always wanted to come here. I'm not saying it's because we're his favourite club or anything like that, but the project was put to him in June. He agreed to the project, and it's just been a case of the two clubs just sorting it out between them in terms of the price. Yep, there was the first bid rejected, second bid rejected, third bid rejected, fourth bid we got there, which is, I think it's more a case of Leeds United feeling like they've got a little bit of something out of the deal, and Newcastle also feeling like they've got the best possible deal that they could get for the player as well. And in terms of the bonus related payments, so for staying up, all of that kind of stuff, just he fits everything perfectly for what we need in terms of experience and everything forwards. And every Newcastle fan that I know, and I've got a lot of family members that are Newcastle fans, are all very sad to see him go, and saying that we are getting a very, very good, consistent player, which is the most important thing.
Of all the cars that I've owned, Paul, and most of them are company cars because I was a sales rep for a long time and a trainer and on the field trainer for a long time, I would describe him as a Skoda Octavia because I had one. And I drove that bad boy into the ground and it never once let me down. It wasn't spectacular. It wasn't stunningly beautiful. But by God, did it get me around Ireland multiple times over and over and over and over again. Every time I got a service, I drove out like a brand new car. Loved that car. I did hundreds of thousands of kilometers on it. I think Sean Longstaff is in that bracket. I don't think he's probably I'm known for shitty analogies on this, so we'll keep going with it. But for me, he will get around the park. He will cover the ground and he won't break down.
I would 100% agree with that. we talk about, and I know people don't like talking about the statistical side of stuff, but his running stats are always way above anybody else in terms of advancing, recovering, all of the good stuff. He is
some of the best in the league, Paul.
Yeah, best. His numbers are high, very, very high in the 90 minutes plus. I just think he's going to be a very, very, very good addition.
Yeah, I do. I'm excited to see him coming in. Another steely midfielder, and they were starting to build. It's very interesting. I suppose we'll talk about him more at the end, but it's interesting to see the different profiles Leeds have gone for from a defensive perspective, and now the shift into the more attack-minded players and the difference in the type of player they're going for in that area. So it appears to be very much horses for courses. So we bought a Skoda. We have Emmett. We bought a Skoda, and it's a good Skoda. And I will not have a bad word said about Skoda cars, especially not modern day ones. Absolute made out of concrete, those things that are great. Right, the other one to talk about, and there's some updates on this, Paul. You might have a few more updates than I have on this, but Anton Stack, personal terms, all agreed with the player. Negotiations ongoing between Leeds and Hoffenheim over the deal. They want £17 million for him minimum, and there's negotiations possibly around the structure on that. Have you heard anything else on this?
Well, the one that I did hear, just bear with me because I'll pull up the
one
that I saw. Just give me 2 secs. There we go. Transfer News Live, so Deadline Day Live, and that's an account that's got like 2 million odd followers on X, has said that Leeds United have reached an agreement in principle for Hoffenheim midfielder Anton Stach, and that's sources Sky Sports Germany, but when you check through, you can't see anything from Sky Sports Germany, and it's whether or not they're just saying what certain things. But if you dig a bit deeper and look around, there's a lot of little quotes that are saying that the deal is basically done. Now, I don't shoot the messenger. I'm not in the know. It's just little bits and pieces that I'm hearing. It's just sounding like that is getting closer and closer to being completed now. It looks as though that Stach wants to come to Leeds. It looks as though he wants the challenge of the Premiership as well.
Yep.
It looks as though he wants to test himself against, the best in the world in the Premier League. So fingers crossed, but it's looking like that one could come up. And again, that would be another fantastic signing for us should that happen. Brilliant. I mean, he's an absolute monster. So
Pierre, isn't it pronounced Stack? It's pronounced Stach. Stach. There's a drawn out CH on it, but because of German, but we'll take Stack.
I'm Yorkshire, so I just say weird stuff like whip it.
Yeah, I mean, we're going to get the Peugeot as well. And there's not a universal agreement on how that's pronounced either. So we'll move past it. But yeah, I agree. I think it's a very solid signing. I think the money is decent as well for what we're getting. Someone asked today, Leeds have only spent about 40 million. Where's the 150 million come from? 17 million for Stack. Peugeot will be about 30 million. Longstaff's going to cost 15 million. Your goalkeeper's probably going to cost close to 15, 16, 17 million as well. And then if it's Rodrigo Muniz, then that's going to be close to 40 million, or at least a record signing in that ballpark. Yep. So you put all that together, you're over the 100 million mark already. So it's how Leeds can try and spread those payments out over a couple of years in order to try and minimize the outgoing expense straight away. Joe Blackburn is saying, first thing I'm doing on Sunday is grabbing Paul by the ears and shouting, "It's not Stach." That's the Welsh. It's the Welsh. It's the Welsh CH. It's the Gaelic CH as well, the German CH. Yeah, it is. It's more of a K, but it's not a K. It's like a HK kind of sound. We're spending far too much time on how CH is pronounced.
It is, yeah. Potato.
Anton is coming in. Well, hopefully that gets done the next couple of days, and then that changes the mood around the place where it was. All hell broke loose on Monday or Tuesday. By the end of the week, there's possibly 2 more bodies in the door, and potentially either other ones coming close to being at least in the corridor of the building for conversations rather than necessarily in the building full stop. But yeah, we'll have a look at that one. So next one, let's talk about this one. This is an interesting one. This one got me a little bit excited, Paul. He was linked with Leeds about a month ago.
Yep.
And it kind of went away because Arsenal fancied him and they got involved in it. And then he picked up an injury. Now, there will be the minority of people will start saying he's an injury-prone player. He's missed 4 games in 2 years with injuries.
Yep.
So nothing major at all. And this summer, they said no one seems bothered by the injury. He's picked up an injury. It means Arsenal may have moved on to other targets because they want a player immediately to come in, which may have opened the door for Leeds to snip in here and get this done. And I didn't think that they would get this done. And I'm still leaning on I don't think we'll get him, but I'd be very excited if we did. Now, we'll go through all that in a minute. At the moment, the story with this is Sky Sports, a Sky Sports reporter, not necessarily Sky Sports, has said there has been direct club-to-club contact between Leeds and Feyenoord, that the player is open to the move. It would be an expensive deal. They want a minimum of 30 million euro. That's about 27.5-ish million pounds, give or take, which would be a lot of money. It's been described as a very tough one to get done. His output in terms of what he brings to the game is phenomenal. We'll get into that again in a couple of seconds' time. And he's been locally compared to and I asked somebody about this who knows more about Dutch football than me, and is from Holland, from the Netherlands. Sorry, I shouldn't say Holland. Holland is a region in the Netherlands. In the Netherlands, they said he's better than Gakpo. So there's that and the history that we have with that player. According to Sasha Tavalieri, that tweet there on the right-hand side tonight, he says Leeds United fully approved Igor Paixão, viewing him as able to make an immediate impact. Leeds United still hesitant due to the 30 million euro plus bonuses demanding by Feyenoord, which is prompting internal discussions. Leeds are aware that Feyenoord have already rejected a bid from Olympique Marseille. It's a complicated deal. Marseille did come in, did want him, but in France, Marseille's interest has been described as dwindling because they would have to smash their transfer record in order to bring him in. They don't appear to be in a position to do that. And again, reports coming out of Feyenoord that nobody in Feyenoord believes that Marseille are in a position to get this deal done, and that has opened the door for Leeds. So before we go into his output, Paul, initial thoughts on this?
Unreal. It's unreal. If we could get that over the line, then it's absolutely brilliant. Like you said, I'm not going to. We'll get into his output in a sec, but it's just it's not as simple as just going and buying. As much as we would want it to be that way, it isn't. It's not a case of bang, there's your 30 million, there you go. There's a conversation that needs to take place between Feyenoord and Leeds in terms of structuring the deal, similar to the Longstaff situation in terms of the way that was done and how that is going to work and move forwards. If we can get this one done, I said it before, this is the statement signing that people were looking for. Just everything about him is fantastically good. Everybody's seen his highlight reel on YouTube. They've seen the way that he plays. He is, as Andy says there, he's the absolute sprinkle of gold dust that we could add into this team. I was surprised when the news came from Graham Smith yesterday. And this is a thing that makes me think that there's quite a strong possibility with this, because Graham Smith's actually properly reporting about it, telling you, well, look, representatives of Leeds have actually gone. And then there was the...
Can I just add to that before you go to... Because this is where I want to really get your thoughts on. Yeah. Because that's an interesting line, considering what Graham Smith put out earlier this week. So... in Graham Smith earlier in the week that I didn't get annoyed by, I just felt it was Leeds saying this is where we are, and then lo and behold, the ones that they said they wanted to get done look like they're going to get done. Mm-hmm. But in that he said, it was about Anton Stack, and it said that leaks of Leeds' interest has not helped negotiations and driven the price up, which I said was incredibly naive for the club to A, put that out, B, think they could do all their business in secret when it's in an agent and a player and other club's interest to leak that information. To say that was strange, but then to give Graham Smith information about a negotiation that's ongoing with Igor Paixão, how does that not impact it negatively?
Yeah, I know what you mean. It's that, we can't get deals done if other people know about it. I think that given the reaction of the club to, not the club, but the fan base to the Granit Xhaka side of things, and the way that everybody kind of really, really lost their minds about it. I think that the club have made probably a little bit of a decision internally to just relax that position a little bit and just to give a little bit of information out. For me, the club saying, or Graham Smith being able to say that, there's a team that's gone and had a conversation with him, etc., so on and so forth, and there's been club-to-club contact, etc., says to me that it is further down the line than what we probably think it is, and that the club, as difficult as the deal might be, they feel like there's a lot more confidence in him actually coming to us as opposed to somebody coming in and scuppering the deal or him going somewhere else. We know that Marseille are going to have to break their transfer record to be able to buy him. I think when you've got to remember as well in terms of where the way that people say things, if English isn't their natural tongue, when they put stuff out in English on a tweet, it can make it seem that the context gets lost. As we all know, even just putting a tweet out anyways, the context can get lost. So when they say, oh, it's difficult, you take that as a negative. And it's like, well, no, don't take it as a negative. The difficulty lies in the negotiation side of stuff for the two clubs to agree to things. That's what the difficulty is. It's not really a negative. It's just the clubs need to sit down and have a chat. I think that the club are secretly quite confident that this could get over the line.
I'm not, but I'll hope. And it has been said there is Champions League interest in him, and there is. But the Premier League has a big draw as well. And what's interesting is the more players Leeds sign this summer of a certain level, the more appealing this project will become to other players they want to bring. You maybe would have looked at this and went, well, you've not signed enough players. You're a championship squad. You probably get relegated again next year. I'm not interested. Where now they're looking at going, they've clearly building here. They've clearly got other plans for other players. They brought in a load already. They might bring in more. This might be what I'm looking for. What's interesting in Pajot, and this is where I'll go into a bit more detail with him. I'll give you what I was told about him, and then I'll give you the output. So what I was told about him was dynamic winger who is regularly compared to Rafinha, who Pajot idolizes. So he's a fan of Rafinha. Now, maybe from Pajot's perspective, he might see, and it's only just purely my opinion, so people can disagree, no problem at all, but he might see Rafinha's pathway and go, I fancy that pathway as well. Look at Rafinha now, Ballon d'Or nominee, playing in Spain, playing Barcelona, got the move. Leeds helped to get that move. So when the arse fell out of the season and we got relegated, Leeds lived up to their obligation, their promise to, and they let him move to Barcelona they almost got relegated, sorry. They lived up to their obligation and let him go. So maybe those kind of conversations are well going, look, if it does go bad, handshake agreement, we'll let you move on. Don't worry about it. We've done it before. We'll do it again. That's fine. He's described as explosive dribbler. From his statistics perspective, he ranks in the top 4% of goal creation over the top 5 European leagues. He's in the top 14% of combined goals and assists. I'll give you that in a sec. Top 96%, top 4%, sorry, of XG output in the Netherlands, and it described as a constant threat. Last season in the league, in 34 games, he scored 16 goals and added 10 assists. That's 26 GNA in 34 games. In the Champions League, he played 11 times, scored twice, and got 4 assists. So over 45 games last season, he scored 18 goals and had 14 assists, a combined 32 goals and assists in 45 games. He averages a goal every second game. The interesting part about this in the series of tweets, the initial one was Graham Smith saying that Leeds had presented the project to the player. Then Sky Sports said that there was club-on-club contact made. And then Sasha Tavalleri's tonight's tweet that says that Leeds have been approved to go forward with this one. So this is about agree to personal terms and agree to fee. If we can do that, great. You've got a deal here. But this is where Leeds are going to have to probably front up the cash if they want to get their man.
Yep.
This isn't a number 10. So to be very clear, I've seen reports of him being labelled as a striker, being labelled as a 10. He can play in those positions, but he has primarily played as a left winger who cuts in onto his right foot, which we need someone on the left to cut in onto right foot like Manor Solomon did last season for us in a similar style. Pajot would fit that bracket. He is an incredibly ambitious signing or an attempt to sign, which is why I don't have an issue with this will be a tough deal to get done. This is Leeds giving us information. We keep asking all the time, tell us what's going on, tell us what's going on. They're telling us what's going on. We're talking to them. We don't know if we can get it done. It's going to be tough, but we're trying. And that's where I think it is. They're showing ambition with this one. I think they've shown ambition with a lot of their targets. They haven't always got them, but this is shaping up nicely, Paul, if they can get this one over the line.
Yeah, it's a big if. Be under no illusion to anybody that's looking. It's a big if. I think the noises are very, very positive, but at the end of the day, we need to remember where we are in the league and what we're potentially going to be doing in the league. But that's one of the, you mentioned it, the Rafinha kind of connection, if you like. He idolizes Rafinha, and you kind of think to yourself, well, you know, us being old romantic people that we are, in terms of the way stuff works, that could be quite a good pull factor for him. And don't disregard the opportunity of being able to play in the Premier League for some people as well. I know Europe is huge, but don't disregard the opportunity to play in the Premier League.
He's got one Brazil cap. It's a World Cup year, and he's going to want to be on that plane.
Yeah, 100%.
Playing the Premier League pushes that up straight away.
Well,
and that's exactly the same thing Rafinha did. Came here, got his first cap for Brazil. So, you know, as much as Rafinha was trying to follow in Ronaldinho's footsteps, maybe Pajot is looking at a similar pathway for himself to go, I'll do that move, then I'll get the bigger move after that. And if Leeds push on and do well, which I think we could do in the future, if we can establish ourselves, no reason why we wouldn't stick around, you know, if Leeds are ambitious enough as well. So it's interesting. On the screen right now, we've got the 4 deals that we've got done in already. Jackie Bial, Lucas Mecha, Sebastian Bornau, who is being forgotten about already, which is crazy. I'm excited to see him play, actually. I like his interviews. And Gabriel Gudmundsson, who only came in last Monday, which is mad to think because a week in transfer window time is incredible.
Yeah.
But Sean Longstaff, we're waiting on the word that that's all done and dusted. Then you've got Anton Stack, Peugeot, and then Lucas Perry. The reason he's there is based on the articles that came out last week. He's Leeds' priority goalkeeping target. It has gone quiet on that position to everyone who's asking. Every time it goes quiet for me, something's going on. So there's a lot of noise around the other players right now. I think that's probably why the goalkeeping one's gone a bit quiet. But there's still ground to cover with the goalkeeping position, Paul. But not a bad 8. And there's more to come.
Yeah.
Peugeot ticks that left winger position.
Yeah.
These will still need a 10 and a 9.
Yeah. No, I agree. I think, and hey, listen as well, if we get the Peugeot thing over the line, that could have a good effect on the potential of the Muniz deal as well. So the Brazilian connection kind of thing, if you like. So you can't. We were all frustrated 2 or 3 days ago, but you can't. For me, and again, people can disagree. It's absolutely fine. I'm happy with what I'm seeing, the noises that are being made. If the Longstaff gets done, Staff gets done as well, and then that's great. It's all right, mate. That's in terms of 6 signings and 6 solid signings that you look at on the screen. That's fantastic, absolutely fantastic. And then it's just, I'd like to hear a bit more news on the keeper, but as you're saying, you know, the keeper side of stuff, it's gone quiet. Usually means that something's happening. So I'd probably give that another week before we start to hear probably more sort of concrete information on it. But I'm in a good place mentally at the moment in terms of what we're doing and in terms of who we're bringing in. And I know, like you said, a lot of people complain about what we brought in, but when you and focus on an other club in particular. But if you look at all of the other stuff, have I missed something?
Yeah, Gabe in the chat. Hey, Gabe, how's things, mate? JF, if we get Stack, Muniz, and Peugeot, we all get Leeds crest tattooed on our heads. Plan. You can hide it, mate. I can't hide it, Gabe, unfortunately. So no, I won't be getting a tattoo. I'm working on currently a tattoo of the rose design on my arm at the moment. So, but no, nothing on my head, mate. No.
Peacocks forever. So yeah,
I'm gonna get tattoos as well. Yeah. Nice.
So Sunderland need to get more defenders in.
They do.
Burnley haven't pulled up any trees so far.
And they're losing their goalkeeper, and they've lost CJ Egan-Riley, and there's talk of Esteve going as well.
Yeah, so there's that side of it. Wolves are in kind of disarray. Brentford, same sort of thing. Bournemouth are selling players left, right, and centre. It just all feels a little bit good in terms of positivity for us moving forward for next season. So it gives us clubs to aim at and hopefully move forward over. So I'm really pleased with what I'm seeing so far. It's just we all want it all yesterday, don't we? We all want it done and dusted and finished and sorted out yesterday. But unfortunately, football doesn't work like that.
No.
So it's just a case of just be patient. It will come out.
It will. It will. And the Muniz stuff tonight, Paul, as well. Thought there was a bit of updates on that as well, wasn't there?
Yeah, it's again, there's positivity. It's moving forwards. It's looking like he likes the idea of coming to Leeds. It's just, we've just got to be patient. These big deals, big deals, take time. There's things that need to be put in place. There's, and again, you've got to remember from the starting position of where we're coming from as a team for the players that we want to bring in. Yes, we have the name of Leeds United. Yes, we have the Premiership in terms of being able to play in the Premiership as a positive thing to go forward to. But the position of where we are and where we want to get to, it's a project that people need to sell to players, and it's working so far. We just need to see a little bit more of it. And
yeah,
I'm confident again that as the window goes on, that I genuinely do think that we are leaving a bit of money in the pot for some bigger deals and for some statement marquee deals. Hopefully, that's what it feels like is coming through.
It has been said by the club in that piece, between Graham Smith's piece and Isaac Johnson's piece, it's very clear to read it that the club have said the bigger moves will come towards the end of the window. So if we get Longstaff and Stack in the next couple of days over the weekend, maybe I don't think Stack happens till next week. I don't think Pajot probably happens another week after that, potentially. You might end up having a couple of quiet days while you're waiting, and it could easily go to deadline there that week anyway before the final bits and pieces are done. And I think if Manor Solomon is coming back to Leeds in any way, shape, or form, that doesn't happen till then. And then maybe your 10, your 9 come in again with Muniz. They seem to really like Muniz. They seem to feel they can get him.
Yep.
He fits the bill. The jacket thing during the week, and the same with the Henderson thing, didn't register with me because we're not buying 32, 33-year-olds. We're buying 26-year-olds. Leeds are buying a team that, when they add a bit of steel to it and a bit of experience to it, can grow over the next couple of years. Similar to what Brentford have done, similar to what Newcastle have been trying to do. Bring them in at a certain age, you've got them for 5, 6, 7, 8 years, and that team can develop and grow together, and the chemistry goes with it. So, all really, really good.
Just look at the age profile. Sorry, Jay. If you just look at the age profile of what we brought in, everybody has been 26, 27. So in terms of players of those, there's maturity with those players already, and there's a sense of going into your prime with those players already. So there's the future resale value if it needs to be, but also as well of players that are going to probably cope quite well with playing in the Premier League, playing for, wearing the heavy shirt that is the Leeds United shirt. So that side of the recruitment side of things, I actually really, really like in terms of what they're doing, in terms of what that structure seems to be. It seems very good.
Yeah, really good point here from Andy, who's saying fans have to understand that these players may have young families, that they'll have to uproot from one area to another, and maybe the spouse having it change their jobs, etc. It's not just about transfer fees. It's completely right. It's about the environment as well. So there's a lot more to consider than just, do you want to come? Here's a lot of money. That works for some players, but not for all, unfortunately. On the exit side, Junior Firpo confirmed to signing a 3-year deal with Real Betis today. So best of luck to Junior Firpo and what he does next season with Betis. And Gus Hamer, as has been said by Danny in the chat as well, Gus Hamer being heavily linked with a move to PSV Eindhoven, Holland, Netherlands. Stop saying Holland, Netherlands. So he's probably heading off in that direction. So that's the out. People asking about the likes of Joffe, Greenwood, JB. Nothing really at the moment. The whole wanted Joffe, but they've had a transfer embargo slapped on them now, so they won't be bringing anybody in. So that's the end of that one. Ruben Stella's moving, though, might kickstart that because he does like Joffe. I would think Leeds are not letting anyone go until they've got their targets in, and then there will be an influx of players out of the club, I would imagine.
No, I would agree with that. I think that once Leeds have got probably 70 to 80% of the business done, I think that's when you'll start to see players on the way out. There's no way that Greenwood gets involved next season. Joffe, as much as I love the kid, there's no way that he's involved next season as well. Obviously, we've got the Mateo Joseph stuff with going out on loan. So that's come about today as well.
They're not paying an option though, Paul. Betis have historically with Leeds never played the option.
No, they won't do. What it'll be similar to the Rocker stuff again. He'll be there for a couple of seasons and there'll be a small price that goes with it. But it can't. For us, it's puts us. There's a talented player that gets to go out and play on a regular basis. So I think it's a good idea for him, because I don't think he's going to start or be as involved as he wants to be next season in the Premier League. So I can see that one happening, but I can see it happening further down the line.
Yeah, same. Yeah. Okay, well, we'll wrap things up there. Paul, what's going on your channel this week?
Just putting news out as and when I can. I don't know if anybody saw my tinfoil hat that I did after the Granit Xhaka thing. Just trying to be a little bit more calm and a little bit more relaxed about everything. I got a bit uptight at the start of this week because people were just being Leeds United.
Because everybody got uptight at the start of this week, Paul.
Yeah, they did. They did. Everybody was pretty much wound up tight at the start of this week. Yeah. But just news. As soon as it comes out, I'm trying to just put out steady bits and pieces of information and confirmed bits of information and stuff and things like that. So
yeah,
just as and when you see it, you'll see it.
Sorry, guys. Got to wrap it up and finish. Big ding dong on the front door. Sorry, dog's going crazy. Yeah, we'll wrap it up. Thanks everyone for watching. Sorry about that in the background, but I will talk to you tomorrow morning for more Leeds news, and I'll see you then. Thanks, Paul. See you.
No worries,
sorry.
Take care, everybody.